Hi everyone! Welcome to a brand new episode of Jennifer's Tale, My Life as a Crossdresser. I, of course, am Jennifer, welcoming you to a new episode. If you are new to my podcast, if you're watching this on YouTube, hi! Please do me a favor before I totally forget. Right below my picture here, click on the subscribe button, subscribe to my podcast, subscribe to my channel. If you are watching this, chances are you're a crossdresser and you found this via the algorithm for YouTube. I'm a lifelong crossdresser. I've been doing this for a long time. And in my podcast, my top goal is to make you feel like you're not alone. A lot of times, I know, especially me back in the day, I always felt that being a crossdresser was something that probably nobody else did. I was probably one of the odd ducks on the face of the planet. Well, I want you to know that you're not alone. There's plenty of other girls out there that are just like you, myself included, and I want you to know that there's a huge community of people out there that love and support you. And in my podcast, I talk about my life, my thoughts, hopes, dreams, tips, tricks, all sorts of stuff regarding cross-dressing. And I think you'll find my podcast of interest. Please check out previous episodes. There's a whole bunch of them here on YouTube. If you are listening to this as an audio podcast, whether it's on iHeartRadio or iTunes or Spotify or wherever you find audio podcast, all the rules that I just said apply to you as well. Please do me a favor if this is new for you. Please subscribe to my podcast. Please check out previous episodes. There's lots of useful information. And if you're somebody who's an admirer of cross-dressers or trans individuals or a significant other, this podcast is for you as well. You'll probably learn a little bit about me and maybe learn something about your special person who likes to dress up as a woman like I do. So with the intro out of the way, let's get into this episode. And the name of this episode, I'm kind of stealing this from another podcast, a sister podcast of mine. The question is, or the title is, Am I Trans Enough? Now, if you are a crossdresser and you've spent kind of any amount of time on the internet, chances are you'll find that you've come across other individuals who fall into the classification of trans. Transgender, somebody who was born in the body of the wrong sex, or at least their mind tells them what sex they should be, and they're in the opposite body. Chances are in their mind, they feel like they should have been born a girl, and they should have girl bits, but somehow through act of nature, act of God, whatever, they were born with a male body and the male bits. Now, there's plenty of girls out there, trans women, trans girls, that have had surgery or plan on having surgery or do whatever they can to make themselves feel like their mind matches up with their body. Whether it's breast augmentation or facial surgery, neck surgery, you name it, there's surgeries for everything nowadays. So there's plenty of trans girls out there that, will go through physical changes to make their body match what their mind says they should look like. Well, I'm not that way. There are times I wish I really had real boobs, but other than that, I really have absolutely no desire to live full-time as Jennifer. I love dressing up as a woman and expressing my femininity and being able to go out in public and interact with people and enjoy being Jennifer. But I am not transgender. I am not somebody who wants to change my sex. I'm happy, the way I am. And so I don't traditionally fall into the full transgender category. And I'm sure there's plenty of girls out there who are watching this or listening to me right now who are like, Jennifer, I totally agree with you. I am that way as well. And sometimes the question is, am I trans enough? The trans community, some girls that are trans are more than welcoming to cross-dressers because they feel like you are part of their community. But then again, there are other trans girls that are the opposite. They don't feel like cross-dressers should be considered in the same group as them for whatever reason. It could be that transgender girls go through a lot of hassle and a lot of society problems, legal problems, being able to change their sex to female or be respected by people. Maybe they're in a job and they start transitioning and they have to go through hassle, people looking at them funny, that kind of thing. And maybe transgender women feel like they have to deal with this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week because they want to change their sex completely. Whereas cross-dressers, we can just make ourselves up, put in breast forms and hip pads and put on makeup and a wig, and we can, portray ourselves as women, but whenever we want, we can strip all this off and go back to our male mode, and we don't have to worry about, the awkward glances or people picking on us or making fun of us. And I think transgender women sometimes resent cross-dressers for that. They might also feel that we're not part of their community because we don't have that desire to change our sex and become a woman full time. Me personally, I think the transgender umbrella or the term transgender covers a wide spectrum. Just like the term crossdresser covers a wide spectrum. A crossdresser could be somebody who just enjoys, for example, a guy who enjoys wearing one particular article of women's clothes. Maybe he enjoys wearing panties. Maybe it's a sexual turn-on for him. Technically, he's cross-dressing because he's wearing an article of clothing that isn't meant for him. But that is totally different from what a girl like myself goes through, where, we go 100% all the other way on the cross-dressing spectrum, where we're going to dress up and look as good as we can, with hair, makeup, heels, dresses, boobs, all that. And in the cross-dressing realm, there's a whole wide range between those two areas. I think transgender or trans spectrum is the same way. You might have somebody like me who is a cross-dresser who enjoys dressing up as a woman and being able to express my feminine side. I am more in touch with my feminine side than most guys are, and I enjoy dressing up as a woman and, looking like this. And I think that falls under the transgender umbrella. It's totally the opposite end of the spectrum from a girl or a transgender individual who feels they were born in the wrong body, feels that they need to have corrective surgery to make their body more in line with what their mind says they should be. But that's their choice. I would like to think that somebody like that would respect or, be okay with a girl like me who doesn't want to go as far as they do. But at the same time, when I'm out dressed like this, there's always the opportunity to get a rude comment or a snide look or anything like that. So me personally, to answer the question, am I trans enough? I think I am. And there's plenty of other girls out there that I know, whether they're biological women or trans girls who I'm friends with, that believe I'm trans enough. And I'm sure there's probably some out there, maybe you're a trans individual who's watching this episode and feel like I'm not trans enough. And I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your comments or your take on this topic. So in my opinion, I'm trans enough. If you're a cross-dresser out there watching this, maybe you think you're trans enough. I'd like to hear people's feedback on this. There's plenty of ways you can do that. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can always leave a comment. Just click on the comments and leave a remark. If you are listening to this as an audio podcast, you can leave a comment on there. Especially if you're listening on Spotify, you can always leave a comment to my podcast. And last but not least, you can find me on social media all over the place. You can find me, my Facebook page is Jennifer's Tale. My Life as a Crossdresser, easy enough. You can find my Facebook page under Jennifer Hangartner. That's my name, Hangartner. You can also send me an email at Jennifer's Tale Podcast, all one word, at gmail.com. I would love to hear from you about this topic, about whatever you have on your mind. And that's it. Until next time, this is Jennifer saying hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.